So I was talking to a hotel clerk the other day who was self-proclaimed struggling with money and was also beholden to a job that they were no longer passionate about because they were working so many hours. Like, the reason him and I started talking is I had seen him time after time after time, like from early in the afternoon working until 11 o'clock at night, and he just looked exhausted. And him and I started having a conversation, and he said one sentence in there after telling me about his situation and his problems. He said one sentence about money that made me immediately think, that might be the very reason that he's struggling financially the way that he's illustrating. This is Jake Ducey with JakeDucey.com, and it's very important that you learn and apply this one phrase because it might be the very thing that's stopping you from having a financial breakthrough. Let's dive right into the video. So he was a super cool dude about my age, and every exchange that I had felt positive and good. And so, as I kept walking by the clerk office, because I was staying in this hotel for quite a bit of time, so I'd see him constantly. And I walked by and I thought to myself, he works so many hours. I cannot believe how many hours he's been working. And I said something to my wife about that. And then I had seen him even later that day. And then ultimately I saw him the next day. And I said to him, I said, man, you work a lot of hours. And I went over to the front desk and I started chatting with him for a while. And he just looked exhausted. He was such an awesome person, an employee, so respectful, positive energy, but he just looked exhausted. He was hunched over and he wasn't supposed to be working. And actually, someone else left their shift and he had to cover their shift. And he was working from the morning until 11 at night. And it was the same thing the day before. And I said, well, are you gonna get tomorrow off? And he said, man, I hope so, because today and tomorrow are supposed to be my days off, and I had to come in today, and if I work tomorrow, it will be 14 straight days. And he just looked exhausted. And then he started talking about how, well, I need the money, and I had this situation and this problem, and I could empathize with him. But I noticed a couple words out of there that I felt like are inherently limiting, because I noticed that I used to communicate my financial reality in my self-talk in a similar manner, such as, I need the money. Now, your entire reality is based out of a self-image. It's based out of the assumptions that you have about who you are. And when you start to view yourself as someone who needs money, what you're developing is a self-image where you see yourself as somebody who struggles financially. We all view ourselves in certain ways. Some people view themselves as someone who is a confident and relaxed public speaker. Some people view themselves as bad readers. Some people view themselves as they always get nervous talking to other people and they stumble on their words. Some people view themselves as having fantastic memories. Some people view themselves as lucky. Some people view themselves as unlucky. Some people think that they have the worst memory in the world and they can't believe it. Some people view themselves as a forgetful person. They always forget things. They're always late. Or other people view themselves as somebody that's early. We have a self-image literally about who we are that we believe so strongly because it's based off of our past, which gives us the psychological proof to ourselves to say 100% with absolute certainty, this is who I am. And it controls our whole life, all of our unconscious actions and results and the reality that we experience, because it's an assumption that we hold about ourselves and the way that we process and experience reality. Well, what happens if your self-image is one in which you do not believe yourself as a person who has financial stability, financial freedom, financial certainty, has the opportunity in order to earn the money the way that you want to earn the money? And as he was continuing to communicate his problems, it was so evident to me that this was a person who did not see themselves as somebody who could create a new and more free and fluid and abundant financial life for themselves. So notice if you use that phrase, I need it, because what it's really saying is I am a person who does not have money. I am a person who literally doesn't have it, because then you subconsciously, based off of your self-image that controls how you show up in reality, you see yourself as somebody who can't make it. You have to start to see yourself as somebody who can and does have money, even if the only place that you do see yourself as somebody with money is in your own imagination, because your imagination is literally what shapes your self-image. So before you can ever change your financial situation, you have to start to be able to see yourself as a person who has money. Just like you might see yourself as a forgetful person. You might see yourself as an A student. You might see yourself as a C student. You might see yourself as someone who always has financial problems, or someone who always has relationship problems, or someone who's super lucky. Amazing things happen to you every single day, right? We all live into a persona. There's the persona of a blonde. Well, what about creating the persona of yourself as someone who has fluidity in their life financially, who has financial opportunities all around them every single day, starting to see this as a prosperous world, and that you have opportunities, imagining yourself making the money the way that you want to making, working the hours that you want to work, influencing people in a positive way with your product or your service or your passion or your work, and in return being wondrously blessed financially. So as you're watching this right now, and as this video ends, what I invite you to do is to ask yourself, how have you been seeing yourself in relation to money in the past? You know, I was at a cafe recently, and there was a person that's a part of this YouTube community that watches these videos here, and they came up to me and they said that one thing that had really impacted them about one of the concepts that I discussed was that they talked about money. In another video I said talk to money the way that you would talk to a person that you wanted to be around in your life. And they noticed they talked to money in a way that if money was a person and it was like, you're not that important, and all of these types of phrases like that, that person would have left, and they changed their conversation with it. And now what I'm inviting you to do is change the way you view yourself in relation to money. So as this video ends, ask yourself, how have you been viewing yourself, and how can you view yourself in a more positive manner? How can you view yourself as a prosperous person? Now that question depends on your desired life, your perfect day, your values, but imagine yourself if it's, easily being able to pay for your kids to go to college, or having the house you want, or the 2 houses you want, seeing yourself doing the work that you want to do, or the dreams that you want to do, and living the way that you want to live, and what you would do and how you would be if you were a person who had an abundance of money rather than an absence of money. Start to change the way that you view yourself, which in turn will change the way that you talk about yourself and talk about your financial situation. And as you do that, because what happens is your reality is a product of your unconscious mind and your unconscious self-image that you hold about yourself. Just like a person that always sees himself as a forgetful person, or a person who always sees themselves as someone who's tardy and late, seems to always find an unconscious way okay to be late, right? Like they see themselves as a person that's late, and they're on time for this meeting. They've been being so diligent about being on time for this meeting, and then they're going to leave, but then last minute when they head out the door and down the street, they realize they forgot their phone, and they got to go back because their phone has the address. And by the time they get back, then they hit a red light, and then all of a sudden they're late, and they're like, I was gonna be on time this time, and I'm late again. Unconsciously, it just creates itself. It's a self-image. So when you change your self-image as someone who's walking through a financial reality that's pleasant, that's abundant, that feels good, that's free, that's has a work a reality that is pleasant, that's fulfilling and passionate and financially rewarding, and you're buying the things that you want to buy, and you living there in your mind, then you can once you develop that reality, and that instills into the subconscious mind by diligently practicing visualizing and seeing that reality, mentally rehearsing it, then you embody that as a self-image and you see reality change in effect. So be sure that you download my free success hypnosis, jakeshypnosis.com. It's right there down below, jakeshypnosis.com, and it's a financial success hypnosis that will actually play, and then you can use that prompt to actually mentally rehearse your new reality and recreate your self-image in relation to your finances and your overall lifestyle. So jakeshypnosis.com, right there down below. It's free, so use that, jakeshypnosis.com. Hit the subscribe button and the bell notification right over there in the morning. Even if you already subscribed, make sure that you hit the bell notification. The bell notification is actually how you get notified for videos. Bell notification right over there, so make sure you hit that. Hashtag down below, I write my money future. I write my money future. And what do I mean by that? Is that you get to rewrite your self-image and your unconscious assumptions about reality in relation to career, work, money, finances, and you can make it the most beautiful reality for yourself, but it starts with changing your self-image. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for watching, and talk to you next time.